วิก็รู้สึกแปลกแปลกโต
Hari Om. Good evening. Such an august gathering. On behalf of Surendranath College, I welcome you all who have gathered here today from all over India to listen to this motivational webinar on Mastering the Mind by Swamini Vimalananda of Acharya Chinmaya Mission. This is an inaugural program of our upcoming free value education course. The course is open to all and it is on mastering the mind by Vedantic approach to conquer negative emotions. In practice, it can be challenging to stay collected in the face of frustration, but reacting often makes things worse, isn't it? It's all too easy to be triggered to anxiety and anger these days. And rather than feeling in control of our mind, we often feel they are controlling us. As a result, we often end up in reacting instead of just responding. But an efficient mind management training can help us to master our own mind. This in turn can help us to reduce our stress and improve our emotional regulation and self-control, ultimately improving our relationships and quality of life in general. And with that hope, we, Surendranath College IQAC, has organized this webinar and designed this particular course. We are grateful to Swamini Vimalananda for kindly giving her consent to grace this inaugural program. Now, I would request Dr. Indranil Kaur, principal of our college, to kindly inaugurate the program. Over to you, sir, Dr. Indranil Kaur.
Thank you, Aditi, for your wonderful introduction. And I too welcome Swamini Vimalananda in our institution for the wonderful topic of mastering our minds in a Vedic way. It will be really wonderful to listen to her and have a control over our mind. Really, as you rightly said, these are the days when we have really a great challenge when we think that our anger and other things are taking a lot of strain in our mind. This is how I think her address, her discourse will definitely train us to some extent to control over our other activities and have a control of our mind, thus forming and means having a wonderful, calm situation where we can really breathe in much easier. Thank you very much. Over to you. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. So now I would request Dr. Ashok Dash, course coordinator of the Value Education course on Mastering the Mind by Vedantic Approach to Conquer Negative Emotions. So he would be speaking a few words and briefing you about the upcoming course. Over to you, sir, Dr. Ashok Dash.
Thank you, madam, for giving such opportunity to say about something on this auspicious day. All of us know that today is the day of International Yoga being celebrated from 2015. Before going to the importance of yoga in present time, I want to say something about why our Indian Prime Minister uh, chose this date out of the rest 364 days in a year in the United Assembly in 27th September 2014. All of us know that India is situated in northern hemisphere of the globe, and consequently the 21st June is the longest day of the year. And so this date has special significance from the Indian metaphysical perspective of yoga. And the summer solstice marks the transition to Dakshinayan, and the second full moon after summer solstice is known as Guru Purnima. The Adi Yogi Shiva is said to have begun imparting the knowledge of yoga to the mankind on this day. That's why 21st June is chosen as International Yoga Day. And United Assembly has admitted to take this date as International Yoga Day. Now I want to tell something on yoga. You see, most of the people all over the world have some wrong notions on the term yoga. That to them, yoga means some yogasan, pranayama, or some different postures of the body. But asana and pranayama are two parts of the so-called eight-limbed yoga advocated by the great Muni Patanjali, ultimate goal of which is the samadhi or liberation, kaivalya, nirvana, whatever may be called. The complete eight-limbed yoga is jama, means external discipline, niyama, internal discipline, asana, posture, pranayama means breath control, pratyahara means withdrawal of senses, dharana means concentration, dhyana means meditative absorption, and finally samadhi, darshana of super soul. And so yoga is actually the practices for union of individual soul with the universal soul. Now, why should one go through the yoga? You see that we have turned the human mind into a source of unending frustration, depression, and self-destruction. We have allowed the mind to mortgage its happiness entirely to external sources. How did we create educational systems that teach us how to acquire knowledge, technology, wealth, but never how to be joyful? In educational institution, the role of a teacher should be to produce a generation that is awakened even when it is asleep. This pandemic situation is a high time or a great opportunity to transform wakefulness into awakening. Whether it is fear, anxiety, greed, anger, jealousy, or hatred, all negative emotions can be healed or channeled into happiness by the practice of yoga. Practice of yoga leads to a violence-free society, disease-free body, confusion-free mind, inhibition-free intellect, trauma-free memory, and sorrow-free soul. It transforms one from craving for freedom to the recognition of unboundedness, from limited ownership to oneness with the whole. Mere intelligence, unless guided by spiritual insight, can create problems instead of solving them, because intelligence is not necessarily accompanied by virtues that constitute wisdom. Hence, intelligent decisions can be short-sighted or guided by selfish motives. An enlightened soul, on the other hand, guides how to think, speak, and act in a ways that benefit all. And such a soul inspires others to rise above selfish attitudes and see the entire human family and nature as one's own. With yogic practice, one becomes able to maintain a certain equanimity, capable of responding rather than reacting to situations. Without yogic practice, we are living in utter ignorance of our true nature, of the relationship between the individual and the world and the creator, and this ignorance creates wrong notions whereby we misinterpret the world, commit various mistakes. And so says Arun Tagore in the book Sadhana. They who having attained the supreme soul in knowledge, may are filled with wisdom, and having found him in a union with the soul, were in perfect harmony with the inner self. They having realized him in the heart, were free from all selfish desires, and having experienced him in all the activities of the world, had attained calmness. The rishis were they who, having reached the supreme God from all sides, had found abiding peace, had become united with all, had entered into the life of the universe. He asserts there is an eternal connection between myself and the world, because this world has its other sides in my consciousness. If there are no conscious being and no supreme consciousness at its source and center, there would not be a world. My consciousness and the vast world outside me are one. And where is that unity? It is that great power who breathes out consciousness in me and also in the world outside myself. When you are master of your mind, it cannot use you. Instead, it now has become a beautiful tool to interact with the outside world. Achieving this mastering over the mind, one can witness his thoughts, as witnessing would create a gap between you and your thought or desire, which helps you not to identify with your desires and thoughts. In this state, your mind becomes a pure sky with no cloud of desires or cravings. The consequence of which is your mind is not in demand mode, and you are at peace with yourself, as advocated by Sri Krishna in the Gita, as the characteristics of a yoga, a master of mind and free from all world desires. Sarvabhutastam atmanam, sarvabhutani chatmani, ikshate yoga yuktatma, sarvatra samardarsana. A true yogi observes the self in all beings and all beings in the self. He is equal visioned everywhere. Though Surendranath College started the value education course on 5th December 2015, but keeping in mind the overall situation of human society due to this pandemic situation, we are going to start this course in more vast form with enlarged modified syllabus, not confining to our students only, but for any human being with no age bar, even beyond the academic institution also, to be started with effect from 26th of this month. I welcome all of you who have joined in this course. Before ending this, I request our IQAC coordinators for introducing our respected speaker, and finally I conclude by chanting a Vedic hymn. Samana ba akuti, samana hridayani ba, samanastu bhuvano, jathava susahasati. One and common be your aspiration, united your hearts, common to you to be your mind, so that close companionship may be occurs. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashok Dash. It was wonderful listening to you. So now I would request our IQAC coordinator, Dr. Suchandra Chatterjee, to please introduce Swamini ji. Dr. Chatterjee.
Thank you, Aditi. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great privilege for me to introduce our honorable speaker today, who is going to enlighten us on mastering the mind, the most important and relevant topic ever in this current perspective. It's really difficult to introduce a personality of such a great stature. Still, to tell a few words, Swamini Vimalananda is a senior disciple of Swami Chinmayananda. After acquiring an honors degree in architecture, her travels made her reflect on life and switch over from designing of the whole world of outer space to the seeking and managing of the sacred inner space. The study of Vedanta actually deepened her spiritual knowledge, her passion for education, and multifarious contributions in this field of academics as a head of the Chinmaya Mission Educational Cell for more than 25 years, touched the lives of millions. As a dynamic leader, serious seeker, visionary educator, prolific writer, and a popular speaker. She travels through the globe, guiding seekers of all age groups. Her simple style of expression, sense of aesthetics, and in-depth, profound knowledge is manifested in all her activities and writing, and captivates the intellectual and the faithful alike. Currently, she is the Acharya of Chinmaya Mission Coimbatore and one of the directors of Chinmaya International Residential School. We are fortunate enough to have her amongst us today on this International Day of Yoga to inaugurate our upcoming online value education course. I know you are all eagerly awaiting to listen to her. So without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our chief guest, Swamini Vimalananda, today in this virtual platform. I would now request Pujya Swamini ji to kindly start her revelation. Over to you, Swamini Vimalananda. The platform is yours now.
Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om and Namaskar to everyone. I am very happy to address the students and the staff of your college. I have not ever come to your college, but right now, virtually, I'm contacting all of you. Everyone is interested in mastering the mind. This is a topic that there's not a single person in the world, irrespective of your nationality, of gender, of religion, of caste, of age. Everyone in the world is interested in this topic. Why? For the simple reason that you are what your mind is. When we say a person is a good person, what do we mean by that? It is not that they have a good health or good shoes or good clothes or anything like that. When we say a person is good, we mean what? His mind is good. When we say a person is bad, what do we mean by that? It's not that he's got bad health. We're talking about what? The mind is bad, we say the person is bad. The mind is good, the person is good. An angry mind, an angry man, man or woman. A calm mind, a calm person. So you are what your mind is. As the mind, so the man. With this said, how important it is for us. Our own identity is our mind. Our very identity, our very introduction to others is through our mind, the capacities of our mind. We give a name to this body, true enough. But all the other things that we say are most of them related to the mind. The next question after the name normally is, what do you study? So you say you study engineering or you study medical science or whatever. So now all the studies and everything is happening where? It's the mind that study. So you say, even the introduction I saw, professor, assistant professor of physics. Now, what is that? All this is the knowledge is where? It's not on your body. Whoever else was their introduction and all that, it is all the introduction of the mind and not of the body. The body's introduction was only the name. Everything else after that was what? It's the introduction of your mind. So therefore, this mind becomes such an important instrument. It is the cause for all our joys and sorrows of life. I stress this every time I talk on the mind is because every experience of ours, from morning to night, from birth to death, is all in the mind. In fact, your life is lived in your mind, not in the body. Your entire life, every sorrow, everything is lived in the mind. Now, so if you say I'm a happy person, it's because you have a happy thought in your mind. If you're a sad person, you have a sad thought happening in your mind. You cannot experience the world. You're listening to me talking. I hope you are listening. What will happen? Now, where is this experience happening? Your ears are listening, but this experience is happening in your mind. If your mind is somewhere else, which I believe a lot of you people, maybe your mind is, I don't know where it is. The mind may be somewhere else. You will not listen to a word. I will talk, the sound is on, but you will not listen to anything. So until unless the mind is behind the body, no experience is possible. In the deep sleep state, when your mind is switched off, even though everything around you is there, you experience nothing. Why? Mind is switched off. So the importance, first of all, we have to understand the very importance of the mind. Then we must realize the state it is in right now. This is a very interesting thing. Right now, the state of our mind, it is full of, I always say, thank God we can't see each other's mind. Isn't it? Mind is part of the Sukshma Sharira, it's the subtle body. So thank God we can't see the mind. Okay, by the way, I will request whoever can come online and unmute your video, it will be good. Because the more the number of spaces I see, the more I will feel better. So all of you can please switch on your videos if it is possible. I know, most children love to listen to the talks without switching on their videos. A, because they may not be dressed properly. They don't want to look not that great on their this is all the things, typical things. Or they may just simply, it's good to just say I'm online and go and do I don't know what all. So we don't even know how many actually people are there when they are not in front of their camera. So it literally, we actually have no idea. They may say I'm participating, but we actually don't know how many are participating when it's just in this. So therefore, I really would like your videos on so that I know that there are at least some people listening. Why? Because the mind is there. I'll be able to see it. Whether the mind is there or not there. Simple as that. So now the mind, I want us to become aware of the state of our mind. Now, supposing you have a car and the brakes are not working. Okay, you're sitting in the car and the brakes are not working. Or the driver is drunk. Or the person who is driving doesn't know where they're going. Or they're going on the wrong direction. You know what will happen? Supposing the brakes, so let's take one thing at a time. Supposing the brakes are not working. What will happen? You're driving and the brakes are not working. What a disaster. Do you agree with me? What a disaster. Now think of it. We have an instrument, we have a mind, and we have no brakes to our mind. Is it a fact or not? Our brakes are just not working. Supposing I tell you, I challenge everyone who's listening. If they are listening, I challenge you right now, stop thinking. Put brakes, come on. Stop thinking. I am 100,000% sure none of you could put the brakes. Is it a fact or not? You're still thinking. We don't have the brakes in our hand. We are not able to put the brakes. Just imagine, we are riding on an instrument where brakes are not working. Okay. Now, supposing the driver, his steering wheel is there and that is not in his hand. And you're just going and God knows where it's being steered. You can imagine the disaster. This is exactly what's happening right now to our minds. I will tell you, please don't think of a monkey. And what is happening? Everyone is thinking of a monkey. Now, I'm saying stay away from it. Don't bring this thought. How often it has happened, you have a worry thought in your mind and you're not able to get out of your worry. And you say, yes, I'm worrying. Just stop worrying. Steer the mind away from it. The steering is in your hand. Just steer your mind. It's not someone else's mind. It's your mind. Just steer clear of the worry. Just take a different direction. Can you do that? Sometimes we know we are in for a accident, still we can't do anything to steer. For example, you're starting to get angry. I hope not now. Huh? I hope nothing I'm saying is going to make you angry. But you're starting to get angry. It's going to be a disaster. If I say something, it's going to be a problem. I'm going to make a mess of my relationship. And then what happens? You still say it. Is it a fact or not? What control do we have? It's like a storm. It just goes and you do what you want, and anger and jealousy. And that's why I always say, thank God we can't see each other's mind. Because if we could see each other's mind, believe me, no two people can ever have any relationship. Because you will know what's going on inside the mind of other person. You'll say, what? You think like that? Outside they may say, I love you, and inside everyone knows what will be happening. Isn't that true? Whether others know our mind or not, at least we know our own mind. Is it a fact or not? We know what's happening in our mind. One person told me, he says, Swamiji, my mind is always a few kilometers away from my body. It's never there. Where my body is, my mind is never there. It's somewhere else. I'm bathing over here, but my mind is somewhere else. It's in the college or in some other place, anywhere. It can be anywhere. That's why I am not sure how many of you're listening to me, but whether you're actually listening or not, God alone knows. And even as I'm speaking, see the rate at which I'm speaking and the rate at which you're listening and understanding. See, there's much more happening. I am speaking, you're understanding, right? When you're understanding, it's not just the understanding that is happening. Your memory of something, so many other things are happening inside the mind. So the speed of the mind is so much that it is besides. That's why minds get distracted. When the teacher is talking, especially if it's a boring lecture, you know what happens. That's why people just love to switch off. And then they give the example and then they give the excuse. No. Signal was very bad. A signal was very bad is a pure excuse. Remember that. The signal bad is an absolute. When they want to see a movie, they get very good signal. Is it a fact or not? When you want to see movies, you think you have bad signal or what? You have excellent signal. Signal bad is only for when listening to the lecture of this. And especially if it's a boring talk, what happens? The mind gets distracted. The mind goes here, there, everywhere. And in this present day, one of the greatest problem of the mind is that it is being fed. It is being entertained at an absolutely unbelievably fast rate. Now, this is a big, big problem. Bertrand Russell had said that a mind which does not learn to live at the pace of nature will always get bored. Boredom is one of the biggest problems of present day youth, youngsters, children. Is it a fact or not? Think of it. So what is the mind doing? It is seeking, and it is getting also, not just seeking, it is getting entertained at a very fast rate. Everything happens. You see action movies. Nowadays, no one likes art movies because no one has patience for that. Because in an art movie, they will show one face for 5 minutes. Then they will change the angle a little bit. Then this emotion will be there. Who has patience for that? They'll say, what is it? Very boring. Why? Because you have Mission Impossible, movies like that. And dham, doom, dham, everything happens in 2 seconds. So many things are happening. So the mind is used to getting entertained at a very, very fast rate. The minute that entertainment from outside, and it's always from outside, that entertainment stops from outside. Let's say you stop watching the movie or you stop this. Then what happens? The day-to-day world and life goes on in a typical, normal manner. Then what happens? The mind becomes bored, nothing to do. So again, it seeks. And what happens now? That you take your mobile. You are used to getting, most of you will be naturally having Instagram, and of course email will be there, and messages will be there, and hundreds of apps you can name, innumerable such things. And what happens, there is a ping, there is a, that's what people tell me also, and that's psychologically all that they have proved. Says what happens, a mobile phone is like a gamble. Actually, right now, it's like, I'll show you the similarities and then you will understand what I'm trying to say. See, in gambling, what is the excitement of gambling? In gambling, you don't know what is going to happen. You may win, you may lose. Anything that can happen. So you may win or you may lose. And supposing it is like that, that every 7th move you win, then there will be no excitement in it. So which move you will win, which move you will lose, you have no idea. So each time that happens. Similarly, the mobile phone, and this comparison is not just by I'm talking about psychologists who have done this. Okay, this is not my analysis only, it's a psychologist. This. So in what happens from the phone that you have, you are getting an Instagram message, you're getting a Twitter message, you're getting a Facebook message, you're getting a email message, so you don't know which is going to come next. Not only that, through that message, you don't know whether you're getting good news or bad news. I'm talking each one of you. It doesn't matter whether nowadays, this thing about the mobile and all is not only restricted to young people. Forget it. Old people are as addicted as young people. I know every old person is as addicted to their phone and all as the young. So nowadays we can't say anything like, oh, young people are there, young people are nothing doing. Everyone is onto this. So what happens is now you have this thing happening. And sometimes people have a phone also and they have other devices also. So there is an input and you don't know what the input is. Sometimes you will, on the Instagram, you'll get a thumbs up, a like, and sometimes you'll get this. So you don't know. This is like gambling. You have lost or you have won. So you don't know what is going to come to you at any point of time, and you're hooked on it. You're the next high you want to get. You got 5 times like that, you want the 6. So you'll probably get at this, maybe someone will send a very nice thing and you say, wow, it's so nice. Again, this excitement will last for what? For that 1 second. The next ping will come with something else and it'll go on. And you understand? Now, with this sort of entertainment, this sort of things happening in your mind, where has this mind got a chance to relax, to be calm, to be peaceful, to be creative, to be happy, to be focused, to bring out something original? Well, where is the chance for the mind, which is so preoccupied, which is so addicted, which is so, consumed by all this thing? Where is the chance for the mind? Are you all with me? Do you identify with what I say? If you so, please nod your head so I can understand that I'm communicating to you. Yes, it happens. So the mind is getting agitated. The mind is constantly in this state. It does not have that emptiness, that silence, that creative. I'm telling you, for creativity, there must be a silence. All great works of art or compositions have come from moments of peace and silence. When your mind is in that composed state, in that fine composed, and then something bursts out, a beautiful thought emerges, a lovely idea comes out, an energy, a spurt of energy happens, something wonderful happens. When the mind is like that only, on a very superficial level, it is getting entertained all the time, it never gets a chance to go deep within, to bring out these beautiful moments of silence, peace, creativity, etc. Okay, now, the topic that was chosen was on values. Now, this is something, let's just a little bit, let me touch upon it. In life, valuables are valuable, no doubt about it. Like you have something, which is a Rolex watch is there, a huge, beautiful TV screen is there, and a lovely car is there, and all, they are all valuable. You have, your jewelry, etc. These are all valuables. Yes, valuables are valuable, but values are invaluable. Okay, remember this. Arinda, now let me explain this a little. Now, many times people tell me, in this day and age, what are you talking about values and all? This is a different age and all that. Now, please understand, every one of us with zero exception have values. None of us can say that we don't have values. All of us have values. Unfortunately for us, how do you say that we have values? A simple thing. The principle of a value is that you have to have value for it, then it's called a value for you. If you don't have value for it, it's not a value. All of us have value for speaking truth. Why? Because we want everyone else to speak the truth to us. We don't like others lying to us. Do we like it? Do we feel happy if someone lies to us? Do we say, oh, how nice, you're lying to me? Do we feel like that? No, we don't like others to lie to us. That itself shows you have a value for truth. We want to be forgiven by everyone. Is it a fact or not? Even if we make mistakes, we want others to forgive us. Do we or do we not? Yes, that itself shows that I have a value for forgiveness. Whether I forgive or not is a different issue altogether. But I want others to forgive me. Yes? So now, remember, all of us have values in life. We all value, and we all know what our values also. We don't have to learn from some religion or from some guru or something like that. Every one of us knows what we want. Is it true or not? We want everyone to accept us. We want everyone to be compassionate and loving towards us. We want everyone to, no, we don't want anyone to talk harshly to us. So these are all values all of us have. What is the difference between values and virtues? When values are lived, they become virtues. Right now, what happens? We have values, but we want others to follow those values. You understand that? You speak truth to me, whether I speak lies or not, you speak truth to me. Is it true or not? I can lie, but you have to always speak truth with me. You have to forgive me. I may not forgive you, but you have to, I will get angry, but you don't get, is it true or not? When I live my values, then these values become virtues. Only then it will be useful to me, not otherwise. So don't say I have no such values and all these values are useless. You all have, all of us with zero exception have values. There is no doubt. If you ask someone, how do you want your friend to be? You will say wonderful things. He should be like that, like that, like that, not like that, like that. How do you want your spouse to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, fantastic. All sorts of listing you will do. Is it true or not? You will want. Now, it is so interesting. When, even though we have value, we don't have value for values. Let me explain this to you. Now, there is something called being smart and there is something called being good. Okay? I'm not necessarily they're opposed to each other, but I'm talking about street smartness or just smart. Nowadays, I'm telling you, most of us are going after what? We want to look smart, we want to act smart, we want to dress smart, and we want to talk smart. Is it a fact or not? Please tell me. What? We want to look smart, we want to dress smart, we want to act smart, and we want to speak smart, right? And that only impresses us. We are so impressed by smartness. Is it a fact or not? We are impressed. When they fall in love, 99% of people fall in love only with smartness. Agreed? Kya smart. And that is how we fall. So all of this, all falling in love, everything is only this: look smart, act smart, speak smart, dress smart. And we, wow, oh, great, great. Now, I ask you this question. Whoever it is, your friend or your, maybe your girlfriend or boyfriend, or it may be just an ordinary, friend or sister or brother or younger brother or sister, anyone, please tell me, do you want your younger brother or sister to be good or smart? Now, because I'm asking, you'll say, no, good and all. But interestingly, just see, please remember this, a very interesting thing. We all want our younger brother or sister to be good to us and smart with others. Yes or no? If they are smart with us, what do we say? What do we say? Teri hoshyari mere saath nahi chalegi. Don't act smart with me. Don't we say that? If someone acts smart with us, what do we feel? Arey hoshyari mat kar. Stop acting too smart. I don't want all your smartness. See, smartness after a certain time, it stales, it pales. We don't like it. You can't live with smartness. That's why so many people, because they come together because of smartness, they separate also because of smartness. Is it a fact or not? Relations break. Why? Because they say, Arey, this guy is no good, Ray. This girl is no good. Why? Goodness is not there. So for a relationship to last, goodness has to be there, not just smartness. Are you all with me? Yes. See, unfortunately, we are impressed by smartness and not by goodness. We don't have value for goodness. If we don't have value for values in that way, then how is it going to work? For example, whenever a person is good and truly good, what do we say? Arey bechara bhala admi. Have you heard this phrase in Hindi?
Yes, yes.
Bechara bhala. Or bechara
Yes,
kyun bolte hai usko? Why do you say bechara? Why do you call him bechara? The very fact that you call that person bechara means what? You don't have value for that. You think, poor fellow, good fellow, you're poor in this. There's nothing poor. You should have the value. He's such a good person. He's a real good person. We don't get impressed by goodness. We only get impressed by smartness. And always the intellectually this, if a person gets, highest in whatever subject, your engineering subject, they will always give a prize for the person who comes intellectual this, but no one gives prizes and awards for what? The values that you follow. No school does it. No college does it. We don't give value prizes for someone who is really honest, someone who has really helped others, someone who has brought something unique into the, like a character or something shown, displayed. No one gives any this. And if you think it is not being valued by anyone, you will not have any value for it yourself. Is it a fact or not? No one is going to get impressed by it. Why should I be good? So many people say, why I only should be good? Others should be good. Why should I alone be all that? Let others also be this. This is how we talk. Why? So please understand, goodness is what gives us joy. Remember that. Why? Now, many times people say, why should I control my mind? Why should I, not have anger? So I always tell them, okay, please get angry and be happy also. Do, try. If you can do both together, please get angry all your life. If you can be angry and be happy together, please be angry. Why? Because it's making you happy. No, an angry mind is never a happy mind. Fact is that. Do you agree with me? I'm not talking anything that you all not experienced yourself. I'm not talking any theoretical thing, any big thing and all that. I am talking actually what you are experiencing in your life. You cannot be jealous and happy at the same time. You cannot be cruel and happy at the same time. Not possible. Try. And if you succeed, I will become your disciple. It won't work. You cannot be, restless and be happy. No restless mind is ever happy. A mind full of desires. Desires means I want, and be happy. How can a mind which is so empty and always I want, and be happy at the same time? Not possible. Are you with me?
Yes.
So if that is so, then please understand a mind full of value, santosha. We talked about the International Yoga Day. So you have all these values, yama, niyamas. These are all values which you have to follow. Ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aprarigraha, santosha. These are all the values that we have to follow to be happy in life. And naturally, when all these values are followed, the mind becomes relatively controlled. And with that mind, it is the most important and the most powerful instrument in the whole wide world. And if I have a mind which is controlled, nothing is impossible for me to achieve. Nothing. Remember, it is our own mind that can make us go to the highest peak of success. And it is our own mind that drags us and tortures us and makes us miserable. Is that okay? In life, please don't blame the world or anyone else in the world, because it is on your own mind that makes you happy and your own mind that makes you unhappy. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. It is said, mind alone is your best friend, mind alone is your worst enemy. That's what the Bhagavad Gita also says. And mind causes sorrow, can give you great sorrow and torture. And the mind itself can take you to the greatest heights of bliss and happiness also. So therefore, mastering of the mind is extremely important. Values are extremely important, and being happy is extremely important. I'm going to stop now so that I can answer a few questions before our time is up.
Hari Om, Swamini ji. Thank you. It was really enriching experience for us. So, dear participants, you can write all your questions in the chat box, and I would request Dr. Ashok Dash to take the questions from the chat box and communicate with Swamini ji. Dr. Ashok Dash, are you there?
Yes, now I am taking some questions from chat box.
Yes.
First question is from Aditi Sarbaggo. I am saying,
if you can just put it on, I can read the question myself and I can answer.
Okay.
The question was done by me itself. I asked that, can't smart people be good? Like, smart people can be good too. So why are we...
I am not saying smart people can't be good. I am saying smart people can be good, but only if you get impressed by smartness and you don't value goodness, then there is a problem.
Okay. Thank you, Swamini ji. Ashok.
And another question is from Ashish Basu. Swamiji was smart, isn't it? But he never boasted of it.
Who?
Dr. Ashish Basu asked that Swami Vivekananda, most probably he want to mean Swami Vivekananda, was very...
If you can just put the question on the chat box where I can see it, then what will happen? I'll read out the question myself, so it becomes easy. Okay, how can we concentrate our mind in one direction? That's one of the questions that I have got. I'm seeing on the chat book. Is it okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Can I answer that question? Yes. How can we concentrate our mind in one direction? Now, this is a very interesting thing. Now, let me go back on the line so I can see a lot of people. Right. Now, see, your mind is always focused where there is love. Does anyone who has a problem, who is asking this question, have any problem in concentrating on a thriller movie? Or on some video game that you love, or when you never have problems with concentration for something you love. It is only when you don't love something your mind gets distracted and goes here and there. Is it a fact or not? So if you want to concentrate on something, if you start loving that thing, create that love for that thing, your mind remains focused and you will have great amount of concentration power. Yes.
And then another question, why do bad things come to our minds before the good things?
See, whenever these the so-called bad things that we are talking about that come to our mind, remember, what is inside only will come come outside. Huh? It is not from outside and something comes. What is inside us is this. So what happens is we are taking a lot of things inside. It's like food. We take a lot of food. We take it, and when it's digested and all goes out of our system is different. But a lot of undigested food also is there. And sometimes we take not very good food, and that is why it creates a lot of problems. For example, what we see, what we hear, so all the things we read from, and we chat with people and all. So all these things that we are taking from there, they remain in our mind, they bake. So many different type of thoughts come and they get muddled and this, and then these come out at unexpected times. If you try to suppress, now it is like that. I bathe every day, right? I hope you all do also. I really hope, because nowadays we don't know, in this pandemic people bathe or you don't bathe also, we don't know, but we bathe. So by bathing we take out the dirt from our body. Now think of it, do you bathe your mind every day? Do we do that? We don't. We don't, because see, so many of the things are there, the dirt in the mind is there, we just don't take it out. We don't even take it a point to, to really, and so what happens, all these things that are there, they surface. See, if you have not bathed, some bad smell will come. Is it a fact or not? If not, after 1 week at least, then someone will start saying, "Arey, please do something, Ray, you're really stinking," right? So similarly, we may try to suppress, it's like someone who's not bathing, they'll put some perfume and all and try to conceal the bad smell. But after some time, that perfume plus the bad smell will be worst. Is it true or not? So therefore, best is what? You bathe every day. You regularly wash off all this, this that we have gathering. So what we have to do is, even the mind needs a proper wash every time. We have not washed it, so many things get collected. That's why we say children are so innocent, they are so pure. Why? Because they've not started collecting all that dirt. And as we grow older and older, what happens? We keep on collecting so much of dirt. And the mind, you see, actually, like how we do with the body, we have to think about that. To make the body strong, we do exercises, we do a lot of push-ups, pull-ups, and so many go to the gym. What do we do to make the mind strong? Nothing. And what happens? The mind is weak. What do you mean by weak mind? It is fearful, it is insecure, it easily gets disturbed. Haven't you heard so many people say, I am very sensitive, I get hurt very easily? It's a sign of a weak mind. And we boast about it also and talk as though, I get hurt very easily. If someone says something, I feel bad. For days together, I keep thinking. This is all signs of weak minds. And we are all, we do nothing to make the mind strong. We do nothing to make the mind, healthy and, to have healthy thoughts, to make, beautiful minds, to make the body beautiful. My God, the amount of makeup and this and that and how much we spend. But to make the mind beautiful, we do nothing. And so what happens? All these bad thoughts are likely to come up. So when it comes up, please watch that bad thought, understand it's coming from inside, understand what it is. See, I get angry very easily. When such things happen, I feel this, I have a sense of superiority. I keep getting, I feel proud of myself and so on. So when you know this is happening, first of all is to become aware of the mind. Then we can do something about that mind. We are not even aware, then what will happen? They say there are 4, type parts of the mind. One part of the mind which others also understand and we also understand. One part of the mind that others understand but we don't understand. They will say this person is like that, but we'll say no, I'm not like that. One part of the mind that we know and others don't know. And there's one part of the mind that others also don't know, we also don't know. All of a sudden some thought comes and says, my God, I got such thoughts. I never thought I had such bad thoughts in my mind. And all of a sudden you get surprised sometimes at your own thoughts. It's not that always bad thoughts come. Good thoughts also come. But I'm just telling you is that we need to become aware of the thoughts of the mind. And what is inside only is coming out. It's not something from outside that's coming out. We have taken from outside. It has been inside. It's undigested food. And it's coming out in some forms which we don't like. Yeah. So we need to do something about these thoughts. We have to wash them. How do you wash them? If I tell you, take the name of God, you'll say, no. Okay, I'll say, watch your breath. Okay. Watch your breath. Become mindful. A child who's doing a lot of mischief. Now, if you keep looking at the child, that child becomes calm and quiet. Have you noticed it? Try doing it. Just keep watching without any reaction. What will happen? The child will stop doing this. Similarly, if we also know we are being watched, for example, so many of them have switched off the video. We don't know what they are doing after that. But if the video is on and my eyes are on you and I'm saying I am watching you, then what happens? All of a sudden you'll become more this alert and all. If you're sitting like that, also you'll sit straight and all that. Why? Because someone is watching. Similarly, if I start watching my mind, what happens? The mind becomes alert. The mind understands that, look, I must not get into mischief. It becomes calm, it becomes quiet, all these things can happen. Okay, now one more question.
Yes,
Can you please elaborate how to stop ourselves getting addicted towards something? See, in addictions, not two things happen. And when people are talking about addiction, in this day and age, right now, 90% of all addictions are all net addictions. You understand? So how do you know? And it could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be eating. You can get addicted to eating also. Remember that also. There are addictions are of various types. But in this present age, most of the addictions are all net addictions. All of it. Now, what happens? First of all, recognize that you are addicted. 90% of us, we don't even admit that we are addicted. What is the meaning of addicted? Is in the morning when you get up, first thing in the morning, what do you do? Do you take up your mobile to look at what is happening? That's one sign. Another thing, do you helplessly watch? Even when you want to stop, do you helplessly watch? You keep, the memes come, na? So one meme is over, then you go to the next, then you go to the next you go, and they'll always give different type of memes, and they know exactly because of the algorithms, they know what type of things you like. So the type of things you like, they'll keep showing you again and again, and you keep on doing few seconds. You keep on scrolling. You listen to this. Is it compulsive? Do you feel helpless? Do you feel I'm not able to put away the phone? Do you decide that, okay, today I will not do, but you still keep doing, and then again you say, today I will not do, and again you do, and again you say, today I will not do, and again you do. If you do like that, understand you are addicted. First of all, we have to understand the symptoms of it. Until unless we recognize and accept, yes, I am addicted, you are not going to come out of it. You feel helpless. This is the main thing. Addiction makes you what? Helpless. Because no control. Absolutely, you have lost control. You become helpless. And helplessly you do something, and again and again and again and again, until you do it, the mind is this. The minute you go away, again it wants to come back. And then it doesn't know what to do. It keeps on wandering here, there, becomes restless. Then after some time, it again, for a little time, it will say, first thing in the morning, it will say, no, not today, not today. And then before you know, it again gets back into the addiction. And these are all typical signs of addiction. So we have to be very careful. And if it goes to a certain extent also, remember, drug addiction, drink addiction, and net addiction, they are not different. See, drugs and drinks, everyone knows is bad. But net addiction, no one thinks it is bad. That is why it is even worse. You understand? Drug and drinks, everyone knows it's bad. So no one is going to consider, and oh, how glamorous it is. No. Whereas net addiction, no one even thinks it is bad. And it is actually a fact right now. And that is why it is even more dangerous than even the other two. Yeah. So please be careful.
There are many questions. I should take such one. How can we be happy?
I think we'll just take one more question because our time is up. We have said this. So we'll just take one more question. Can you please elaborate how to stop ourselves getting addicted? That's one I answered already. How to stay calm when there is a turbulence in life and take the right decision. This is very, very important. Please don't take any decisions, important decisions of life when your mind is agitated. When your mind is agitated, you have to say, okay, it's like they say, no, time out. Right now, I have to step back, get my mind in a calm state, and then take a decision. Don't take major decisions of life when you're upset. A lot of people have done that and have regretted all their life. Please don't do that. The first and the foremost is step back. Only when the mind is, nothing is going to go this. You have to tell, if something is there, someone is asking, you say, please give me a little time and I will this. Even supposing something really terrible is happening and there you have to decide at that time, just step back, go into a place where you are alone, take a deep breath, watch your mind and the agitations of the mind without getting worried for 1 second. If not anything, chant Om loudly, do some deep breathing. Just actually take a deep breath, take it out and watch your breath. Just keep doing that for a little time. If you believe in God, pray, Don't take decisions when your mind is agitated, because your decision will never be the right decision. Once your mind is relatively calm, view all the situations in this. Don't become emotionally, because the emotions are the one that make us take the wrong. See, the power of decision has to be by the intellect and not by the emotions. Emotions give power, but intellect gives direction. Remember this very important thing. Emotions give power and intellect gives direction. If you give the emotions the power to give direction, you are doomed. Okay? बुद्धि दिशा देती है और भावनाएं बल देता है. तो क्या है? It's like the driver, na? The driver of the car, the steering is with the intellect, should be with the intellect and not with your emotions. Please don't drive your car with your emotions. Then you are doomed for sure. You are going to crash. So the driver, the intellect, and that intellect always is Satya Pakshapati. Arjuna also, same problem happened to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. If you see in the Mahabharata war, he was everything. He knew all, whatever had to be done. He understood the situation. But when he went there, in the middle of the battlefield, and he saw, he got emotional. He says, this is my grandsire. This is Pitam. He could not, the emotions were not able to, he could not take a right decision because of emotions. And he had a nervous breakdown. So Bhagavan said at that time, I'll guide you. He is like the buddhi in him. So slowly and slowly, Bhagavan made him understand. After his understanding was clear, Bhagavan told him, what? Vimrishya etat asheshena, please think of all that I have said, then yathechasi tatha kuru, and then do what your intellect tells you to do. See, Bhagavan did not take away his intellect and say, okay, I'm telling you do this. No, he said, I am giving you all the right knowledge. I am giving you the techniques by which the mind can become calm and quiet. I have told you everything that needs to be told about the situation. Now you think. All the masala is with you. Now you cogitate, you reflect, you understand, because we are all intelligent human beings. We don't have to be told, and we have passed that age where you have to be told, sit down, stand up. We have passed all that age. So we have to think ourselves and then let the intellect guide us in the right direction. Once the intellect tells us, okay, fine, in a calm, this is the decision, then don't worry, take the consequence. Even if the decision is wrong, at least you have learned, okay, this was a wrong decision. I should not have done this. I should have done it. This is a great lesson learned. So nothing wrong with that. In our life, we will make mistakes. Don't get scared of making mistakes. When you learn to walk, how many times you fell? What happened? If you said, no, I'm not going to walk again because I will fall, you would still be crawling on your fours. Is it true or not?
Yes.
What happened at that time? We fell. We got up again. We walked. We fell again. We walked. When you started doing anything, you made mistakes. So don't get scared of making mistakes. Mistakes is part of life. You will stumble. You will fall. It's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Get up again. To fall is not wrong, but to fall and not get up is wrong. To always be fearful of what, that is wrong. So therefore, nothing wrong in making mistakes. Let your intellect guide you in your life. All I can do now is pray for the well-being of all of you. Please be safe and be happy, and may your mind lead you to success in your life. Thank you. Hari Om and Namaskar.
Namaskar, Swamini ji. Thank you, Dr. Ashok Dash, for asking the pertinent questions. Thank you, Swamini ji. I would now request my IQAC coordinator, Dr. Suchandra Chatterjee, to say a few words as a vote of thanks. Dr. Suchandra Chatterjee.
Thank you, Aditi. So, a warm and blissful evening to you all, present here virtually from various locations for our today's motivational webinar on mastering the mind. You know, thanks are the highest form of thought, and gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. Thank you is one such prayer. The fear is blossom that springs from the soul. And it's my proud privilege to propose a vote of thanks for today's mesmerizing speech, valued presence, patient hearing, and all the hard work behind the scene that made this webinar happen. I, on behalf of Surendranath College and the entire fraternity of this institution, first of all, extend my most sincere gratitude to the Almighty for His grace and blessings that made this webinar what it was amid lockdown. On behalf of IQAC Surendranath College, I extend a really hearty vote of thanks and sincere pranam to our honorable speaker today, Swamini Vimalananda, who literally graced us with her insights and thought-provoking speech. Thank you, Swamini for your crisp, eloquent, and inspiring revelation. Your content today will definitely be echoed in our minds for a long time and would help us in managing it effectively. Thank you once again, Swamini for gracing this occasion, sparing your most valuable time from your busiest schedule. Thank you so much, so very much. My heartfelt gratitude to the college authority and the governing body for their constant motivation and support. A special thanks to our respected principal for being the catalyst that stimulate us to do our best. IQAC is grateful to Dr. Ashok Das for designing and planning the implementation of the value education course. I am immensely grateful to all my colleagues, both teaching and non-teaching, who always stand by us and cooperate. And I also love to thank all the technical committee persons for their involvement and dedication even in this critical situation. Next, I thank my beloved students for attending this program spontaneously, which has made this event no doubt more meaningful. Last but not the least, valued viewers from different corners of the country, we owe you a lot for being with us in this webinar. Without your active participation, we could not have been successful. So with this, we are at the very end of our program, and let us conclude with a prayer for having eternal peace on this earth very soon. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Yes, the feedback link, just 1 second. The feedback link is in the chat box. I would request all to fill the feedback link. It would help us to do more such programs. Dear viewers, the feedback link is in the chat box. Please do fill it and correctly so that we can proceed further. Thank you, Swamini ji. Hari Om.